Hello and welcome everybody, this is Gogs Gaming, and we're gonna do a let's play walkthrough and gameplay of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And we will be playing it on the Wii U Virtual Console. And we will select the game real quick. Alright, let's do this. In the vast, deep forest of Hyrule, long have I served as the guardian spirit. I am known as the Deku Tree. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. Each Kokiri has his or her own guardian fairy. However, there is one boy who does not have a fairy. Alright. That was Princess Zelda, of course. And there's Ganondorf. And there's Link, of course. Navi, Navi, where art thou? Come hither. Oh, Navi the fairy, listen to my words, the words of the Deku Tree. Dost thou sense it? The climate of evil descending upon this realm. Malevolent forces even now are mustering to attack our land of Hyrule. For so long, the Kokiri Forest, the source of life, has stood as a barrier deterring outsiders and maintaining the order of the world. But before the tremendous evil power, even my power is as nothing. It seems the time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey. The youth whose destiny it is to lead Hyrule to the path of justice and truth. Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world, depends upon thee.
Hello.
And Navi, of course, is trying to go and find where Link's house is. The only boy without a fairy in the Kokiri Forest. There it is. And of course there's Link sleeping. Hello, Gago. Wake up. The Great Deku Tree wants to talk to you. Gago, get up. Hey, come on. Can Hyrule's destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? You finally woke up. I'm Navi, the fairy. The Great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you, so let's get going, right now. And of course this is the beginning of the game, and Link is inside his house, and there's a top-down view. And the exits, and there's the Kokiri Forest. Yahoo! Hi, Gago! Alright, and let's just kind of take a real quick look at the forest. Just an absolute beauty. Alright. Let's talk to, wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you, Gago. Wow, that's great news. I'm so happy for you. Now you're a true Kokiri, Gago. Is that right? The Great Deku Tree has summoned you? It's quite an honor to talk to the Great Deku Tree. I'll wait for you here. Get going. Go see the Great Deku Tree. I believe that's Saria. Alright. Just trying to get used to the controls of the Wii U Virtual Console, of course. Oops. Let's close that again. Okay. Alright. Not too bad. And of course, at this point, we don't have anything, and Navi is asking us to talk to her. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you. Please, come with me. Alright. And before we, of course, go to the Great Deku Tree, we're gonna need to go get our sword and get our shield. And, you know, one of the reasons I wanted to really play the kind of the original N64 version, which the Wii U Virtual Console version, you know, it's as close to it as possible. I know there's probably some little, you know, minor changes here and there. I just wanted to get a nicer glimpse of what the game was when it first came out, you know. Of course, the 3D version came out, the 3DS version, and I have that version, and I've played it, and I might actually do a walkthrough on that version later on too, just, you know, to highlight any changes or whatnot. But the N64 version, which is the version I'm playing right now, just absolutely gorgeous. For its time, that is, you know. And there is the sword. You got the Kokiri Sword. Alright. This is a hidden treasure of the Kokiri, but you can borrow it for a while. Be sure to practice with it before you really fight. And let's equip the sword. There we go. And for me, you know, the Ocarina was the second Zelda game I ever played. First being Link to the Past. I actually played it pretty much right when it came out. I believe sometime in '98. And I recall the very first exposure I had, because keep in mind at that time, you know, the internet was still at its kind of at its infancy. I mean, I think IGN was up and running, but not much else. And of course, they didn't have, you know, a whole lot of content back then. So my first glimpse was actually at a Target store. I remember being in a Target store and saw someone playing, and they're somewhere at the Kokiri Forest, and so every time I, you know, play, it definitely brings great memories. I'm gonna get a few more rupees from here. Oh, don't really need the heart. I could be wrong, but I think the I think the Wii U, you know, the Virtual Console version, the frame rate seems to be, you know, much more cleaner than the version on N64. Actually, I played the N64 version about, I want to say about a couple of years ago. I beat the game, and then the 3DS version came out, and then I beat the game on the 3DS version. And by the way, I mean, the 3DS version is definitely gorgeous, absolutely stunning, you know, beautiful game. Like I said, for, you know, it's probably sometime in the future I could definitely see doing the 3DS version as well. And I think both for, you know, Majora's Mask and Ocarina, I mean, honestly, both versions give you something to kind of yearn for, you know. The original versions give you that, you know, original feeling to take you back to whenever you actually played the game, whereas the the 3DS versions are just visually just stunning, and in Majora's Mask, and just lots of you know, interesting and important improvements, you know. Hi Gago, look this way. Look over here with Z. Alright, yes, that's how you use a fairy. So great that you finally have a fairy partner. I'll teach you how to talk to people using your fairy. Alright. And we're just getting a few more rupees so that we can go get the shield. I think there's a rupee somewhere in here. Yep. Okay. So we're at 35, and let's do this little jump trick. Usually gives us another. Let's see, where is that at? Okay, there we go. Alright, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Perfect. Actually, if we read this sign right here, it says stepping stones in the pond. If you boldly go in the direction you want to jump, you will leap automatically. If you hop around on the stones, you'll become happier. And we became financially happier. We got 5 more rupees. So we will purchase the Deku Shield. You got the Deku Shield. Alright. We're good to go for now. So we will exit out and go straight to the Great Deku Tree. Hey you, Mr. No Fairy, what's your business with the Great Deku Tree? Without a fairy, you're not even a real man. What? You've got a fairy? Say what? The Great Deku Tree actually summoned you? What? Why would he summon you and not the Great Mido? This isn't funny. I don't believe it. You aren't even fully equipped yet. How do you think you're going to help the Great Deku Tree without both a sword and shield ready? What? You're right. I don't have my equipment ready, but if you want to pass through here, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Sheesh. And we will equip our shield. There we go. The Kokiri Shield. Okay. What's that? Oh, you have a Deku Shield? And what's that? Is that the Kokiri Sword? Good grief! Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp, huh? I, the Great Mido, will never accept you as one of us. Shoot, how did you get to be the favorite of Saria and the Great Deku Tree? Huh? Grumble, grumble. Okay, so we, get past that, and we get our first Deku stick. Alright. These always are useful, so we'll just get a few more. And we are now in front of the Deku Tree. The Great Deku Tree. I'm back. Oh, Navi, thou hast returned. Gago, welcome. Listen carefully to what I, the Deku Tree, am about to tell thee. Thy slumber these past moons must have been restless and full of nightmares. As the servants of evil gain strength, a vile climate pervades the land and causes nightmares to those sensitive to it. Verily, thou hast felt it. Gago, the time has come to test thy courage. I have been cursed. I need you to break the curse with your wisdom and courage. Dost thou have courage enough to undertake this task? Yes, we do. Then enter, brave Gago, and thou too, Navi. Navi, the fairy, thou must aid Gago. And Gago, when Navi speaks, use that button to listen well to her words of wisdom. Alright. And let's enter the Great Deku Tree, which is of course the very first dungeon of the game. And you know, a lot of folks consider it more of a kind of a tutorial dungeon, which I guess you could say it is. I mean, it's not, certainly not the most challenging. But then again, you know, it's not challenging for someone who's been playing, you know, all the Zelda games, you know, all their life. Whereas for someone who's starting new, it's probably everything is, you know, just to get a good structure of everything, you know, it's not a bad start, you know. Look at the wall, the vines grown on it, give it a rough surface. Maybe you can climb it, Gago. Maybe we can. Alright. Alrighty. So we will open the first treasure chest of the game. Well, at least in the dungeon. First one was actually the Kokiri Sword. And of course, that's the map. There we go. Ooh. Man. The Z target was stuck there for a second. You can open a door by standing in front of it and pressing A. And like, you know, again, this is the first dungeon, so a lot of what we learn is kind of the very basics. But again, for someone who's new to the series or new to the game, it's not bad. When you jump off a high cliff, if you hold the joystick forward, you will roll on the ground when you land and won't get hurt from the fall. I can't guarantee it will work, though, if the cliff is really, really high. Heh. Well, try it if you are feeling bold. Okay. Here should be the slingshot, and yes it is, the fairy slingshot. Alrighty. There's a little vine. I think that's a heart. Yeah, so not too useful, but hey, we'll take it. Alrighty, and oh, that symbol right above that treasure chest. I wonder what that is. Looks like, I don't know, like a zero. And of course, we're gonna go ahead and equip. Actually, let's do that on that one. And finally the slingshot. Okay. And see that ladder, of course, Navi gives us the clue that, hey, you know, you can shoot that. Look, something is hanging up there. It looks like an old ladder. And we can actually Z-target and shoot it. And that, of course, allows us to climb, you know, climb up and go to where we came from. And we will go back again. And now we will use the target again. And there's one more over there. There we go. And we will now go here and get closer to where we need to go. Well, first we do need to go through that door, take care of some business, and then we'll be back again. And there's that. And let's see what Navi says. It looks like that torch was burning not too long ago. So, you know, it's giving us a little clue. And of course, there's the fire right there. Let's step on this real quick. Let's just first go do this part. And then and I believe this should be the compass. And it is. And I would say, you know, the compass on the map, it's true in, you know, in this level, or in this dungeon, we're probably not gonna use it too often, if at all. But, you know, sometimes you get stuck, and the map actually can be quite helpful, you know. I actually remember for the 3D Zelda, you know, sometimes the map would be extremely helpful, like Oracle of Ages, Link's Awakening, and whatnot, you know. Oops, wrong one. Okay. Let's burn that puppy. Oh, okay, so that's just actually for the one we need to get back. There we go, and let's open the little box, the treasure box, get a heart, which is sure helpful, and then that's the first gold sculpture, of course. And it says you destroyed a gold Skulltula. You got a token proving you destroyed it. And of course, the gold Skulltulas, it's kind of a I guess you could call it the side quest for Ocarina of Time. There's 100 in total, and you know, with each, oops, there we go. With each one, you, I think, like, for example, once you get 10, you get, there we go, you get, I believe you get a bigger wallet, if I'm not mistaken. And let's do the look real quick. And again, we're trying to get it somewhat acquainted with the system. Okay. And of course, we are gonna jump from here because there's a little web right there. Alright, and let's not go too far this time. But on the 3DS version, it's a lot smoother. I think the gyroscope, you know, definitely helps. It's just, you know, much smoother. But again, as I noted, I think both versions give kind of something, you know, they both offer their own little stuff, you know. Step on that. Let's see what's in there. A little heart. And then of course we're gonna fire that up and make sure not to land on the deeper end of the water. And go, oof! There we go, that was a little too slow. Okay, and we'll take care of the sculpt. Actually, let's take care of the sculptors right now. And of course, Skulltulas, you know, they'll be found in dungeons, and of course, in the overworld as well. And in the overworld, they're usually in the really found in the nights, and also in the, you know, sometimes where there's those little potholes where you can plant, you know, basically like a little bean sprout. You actually put a little bug in there, and out will usually come out a Skulltula. Oops, there we go. Of course, we took care of the web with the fire, and now we can go to the next part. Come here, you. Come here, you. And these little Dekus, of course, made a big comeback in Majora's Mask. One of the sections, of course, was the, you know, kind of big on the Dekus, you know. In fact, one of the masks was a Deku mask. And this guy's giving us the order for later on, right before the boss. It's 2, 3, 1, so 23 is number 1. Basically, there's 3 of these little Deku scrubs, and he's giving us the proper order. And there's the eye, of course. Kind of a staple of the Zelda game, I would say. There we go. After you get into the water, if you hold down A, you can dive. I bet there are some interesting things underwater. All correct. And of course, there's that little switch that activates the little water level, and we will be able to get where we need to. Okay. Let's wait. There we go. Stand next to this block and grab hold of it with A. While holding A, you can push or pull it. If you stand next to the block and press A while pressing the joystick towards the block, you can climb on top of it. So, you know, it's kind of telling us what to do. I mean, I would probably tend to prefer, you know, not to tell us, you know, exactly what to do. And just maybe, you know, if there's some struggle and then Navi can pop up. But, you know, it's the first level, or it's the first dungeon, so it's giving us some helpful hints and whatnot. And of course there's a couple of unlit torches and one torch that is lit. So guess what? We're probably gonna use the okay. And there it is. And again, you know, this first one really kind of introduces all the basic stuff that we're gonna use later on in the game. There we go. And the little mini Gohmas, I think you could call them. Come here, you. Come here. How dare you? Oh. Eyes lit. Alright. Okay. I think there's one more. If I'm not, yeah. Oh. Perfect. Alright, and actually we can't go there right now because there's a place we need to blow up the bomb, and I believe there's a gold skulltula there. But, you know, again, that's for later. So we actually have to go right here. Now we can enter this little hole, and we're almost where we need to be. We're going to push this block down right here so that when we go get the flame to take care of the spider web that we just passed, we can climb back. And one thing I should definitely note is, whoops, wrong key. I will be doing a lot of Zelda videos pertaining to, you know, top 10s and analysis and whatnot. In the meantime, you know, I think it's good to get some playthroughs of some of the game. And of course, this is where it's 2, 3, 1. So that's 2. That's 3. And that's 1. Come here, you. How did you know our secret? Oh, I'm not gonna tell you. And of course he tells us how to take care of Queen Gohma, which is a striker when she's stunned. And on we go to Queen Gohma. dark, of course. And there's Queen Gohma. Uh-oh. Alright. Right when her eye gets red. There we go. Probably need one more, and we should be close to being done with her. There we go. And with a lot of these bosses, you know, if you do them properly, if you just do what you gotta do, they tend to be pretty quick and easy. Some can give you, you know, a lot more, you know, bang for the money, I guess you could call it. And of course, we just got one more heart. And we will go right there. And that should take us outside the Deku Tree. Well done, Gago. Thou hast verily demonstrated thy courage. I knew that thou wouldst be able to carry out my wishes. Now I have yet more to tell ye. Wouldst thou listen? Now listen carefully. A wicked man of the desert cast this dreadful curse upon me. And of course that's Ganondorf on his horse, the Dark Horse. This evil man ceaselessly uses his vile sorcerer's powers in his search for the sacred realm that is connected to Hyrule. For it is in the sacred realm that one will find the divine relic, the Triforce, which contains the essence of the gods. Before time began, before spirits and life existed, 3 golden goddesses descended upon the chaos that was Hyrule. Din, the goddess of power, Nehru, the goddess of wisdom, Furor, the goddess of courage, Din. With her strong, flaming arms, she cultivated the land and created the red earth. Nehru poured her wisdom onto the earth and gave the spirit of law to the world. Furor, with her rich soul, produced all life forms who would uphold the law. The 3 great goddesses, their labors completed, departed for the heavens. And golden sacred triangles remained at the point where the goddesses left the world. Since then, the sacred triangles have become the basis of our world's providence. And the resting place of the triangles has become the sacred realm. So the Triforce rests in the sacred realm. Thou must never allow the desert man in black armor to lay his hands on the sacred Triforce. Thou must never suffer that man with his evil heart to enter the sacred realm of legend. That evil man who cast the death curse upon me and sapped my power. Because of that curse, my end is nigh. Though your valiant efforts to break the curse were successful, I was doomed before you started. Yes, I will pass away soon. But do not grieve for me. I have been able to tell you of these important matters. This is Hyrule's final hope. Gago, go now to Hyrule Castle. There thou will surely meet the Princess of Destiny. Take this stone with you, the stone that man wanted so much that he cast the curse on me. And of course that's the Kokiri Emerald. You got the Kokiri's Emerald. This is the spiritual stone of the forest, now entrusted to you by the Great Deku Tree. The future depends upon thee, Gago. Thou art courageous. Navi, the fairy, help Gago to carry out my will. I entreat ye. Navi, goodbye. Let's go to Hyrule Castle, Gago. Goodbye, Great Deku Tree. And it looks like the Deku Tree passed away. And we are back to the Kokiri Forest. And here's Mido. Hey, Gago, what did you do? The Great Deku Tree, did he die? How could you do a thing like that? It's all your fault. No, it's not. Okay, so we're back at Kokiri Forest, and we will continue with the next episode. But this should wrap up the current episode, and you know, thank you for everything. I ask that you like the video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And there'll be great Zelda content coming up, not to mention other content as well. And as always, thank you, and you guys have a wonderful day.